Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, I want you to literally lower the lights right now and imagine a world where the age of adventure is just bleeding out. Empires are rising, iron fleets are taking absolute control of the waves, and the golden age of piracy, it's fading into the fog of history. Today, we're diving deep into a grand, genuinely cinematic narrative concept, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Devil's Compass. We're going to treat this breakdown exactly like a massive blockbuster film, unpacking the lore, the visuals, and the insane stakes of this final, legendary expedition. So, where exactly does a pirate go when the world no longer wants him? Picture this cold open, right? The camera sweeps over a rundown tavern on some forgotten, tiny tropical island. The world is moving on. Most people actually believe Captain Jack Sparrow is either dead or, finally found some peace. But the reality? Jack is currently trying to steal a chicken while arguing with a monkey over a bottle of rum. The legend lives on, just slightly hungover and entirely out of place in this modernizing world. But as you might guess, this quiet exile is about to be violently interrupted. Act 1. The End of a Legend. And the inciting incident here hits with the sheer force of a tidal wave. In the dead of night, a mysterious ghost ship breaches the fog, totally battered by a monstrous storm. The sails are ripped to shreds, and the crew, completely dead. Now, what's really interesting about this is the visual shift in stakes. On one hand, you have Jack's iconic old compass, the one that famously points to what you desire most. But then, clutched by a dead captain at the helm of this ghost ship, is a terrifying new artifact forged from black gold. It doesn't point to what you want, it points to what you fear. And engraved right into its surface are the words, "Beware the Devil's Sea." This immediately tells us, guys, we are leaving the realm of standard pirate treasure and stepping into a realm of deep, cosmic terror. Inside the cabin of that ghost ship is a map, and it shows a location that's completely missing from every nautical chart ever drafted, the Kingdom of Atlantis. Imagine literally every history book you've ever read just being wrong. For centuries, the lore told us that Atlantis fell, right? That it was destroyed by the hubris of man. But this map reveals a truly chilling truth. Atlantis was never destroyed. It was imprisoned. And the gates to that prison, well, they're starting to crack open. Deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, that ancient prison is failing, and out steps our new antagonist. Meet Captain Davy Blackheart. Now, he isn't just a pirate. He is the first pirate king. We're talking way older than Blackbeard or Barbossa, centuries ago. He found Atlantis and tried to steal a divine artifact called the Heart of Poseidon. Well, the sea gods cursed him for it, granting him immortality. But not immortality as a blessing. Immortality as a cage. His body, along with the bodies of his entire crew, are slowly transforming into these grotesque sea monsters, yet their minds remain fully, painfully human. Let's see how this builds, because to really understand the epic scale of this threat, we have to trace the curse back. 500 years ago, Blackheart is cursed at Atlantis. Over the centuries that followed, his dark magic begins to draw in the lost, creating a massive graveyard of ships. And now, in the present day, his underwater prison finally shatters. He has spent 5 whole centuries waiting in the pitch black for revenge against the sea gods, and he is finally free. Act 2. The Epic Montage. The high-stakes race against a 500-year-old monster officially begins, and Jack realizes he absolutely has to be Blackheart to Atlantis to save the oceans. If Blackheart reaches Atlantis and claims the Heart of Poseidon, he'll control literally every ocean on the globe. To beat him there, Jack assembles just a spectacularly ragtag team. We've got a brilliant female navigator descending from the Atlantean bloodline, a disgraced former British naval commander desperately seeking redemption, a young, wide-eyed treasure hunter who grew up basically fanboying over the exaggerated stories of Jack Sparrow, and of course, a handful of completely unreliable, backstabbing pirates. They are chaotic, unpredictable, and entirely unqualified to save the world, which means they're exactly the kind of crew Jack prefers. It's a great reminder that sometimes pure chaos is your best weapon against rigid, ancient power. But to catch a supernatural pirate, you're gonna need a supernatural ship. Enter the Sea Serpent. This isn't your standard wooden galleon, guys. This is a magnificent vessel built from salvaged fragments of ancient Atlantean technology. Just picture this thing cutting through pitch-black water at midnight, its sails emitting this ethereal, glowing blue light, and a reinforced hull built to effortlessly shatter through impossible, towering storms. It is an absolute visual masterpiece. Their first major obstacle is visually stunning. It's the graveyard of ships. Think of a massive, motionless expanse of the ocean just choked with thousands of lost vessels from every single era of human history. Roman triremes locked against Viking longships, Spanish galleons rotting right next to vanished warships. And as the sun sets, the thick fog rolls in, and the dead crews awake. Suddenly, the silent graveyard completely erupts into a chaotic nocturnal naval battle with ghostly cannons firing blindly through the mist. So, the crucial point is, how exactly do you navigate the sheer cinematic scale when you are completely outgunned and surrounded by immortal phantoms? Well, definitely not through brute force. Jack escapes simply by tricking the warring factions of the dead into turning their cannons on each other. It perfectly anchors our central theme here. Human cunning, along with a healthy dose of sheer luck, can outsmart immortal chaos. From there, the map guides them to the island of giants, and the visual direction here is just unbelievable. The mountains on this island aren't actually rock. They're petrified sea giants, frozen during a forgotten war between gods. The final crucial clue to Atlantis is hidden deep inside a massive stone skull. But Blackheart intercepts them. Imagine the camera panning out to this epic wide shot. Jack and Blackheart engaged in a vicious sword fight atop a giant stone hand protruding from the crashing ocean waves. Lightning violently illuminates the sky, and then, in a massive, shocking twist, Blackheart disarms Jack. He steals the clue. For the first time in years, Jack Sparrow truly loses.
Act 3. The Atlantis Trap. With the clue stolen, the battered crew descends into the dark abyss.
Blackheart has the location, and Jack's crew follows him down into a gigantic, hidden underwater cavern, really not knowing what awaits them in the legendary Lost City. But the visual reveal of Atlantis, it is breathtaking. It completely defies gravity and logic. We see these towering structures of pure gold. There are entire crystal oceans literally suspended in midair overhead. Ancient, intricate machines hum with power, drawing energy directly from the moonlight filtering through the ocean above. And right at the center of the whole shebang sits the throne of Poseidon, the ultimate source of all ocean magic. But as they marvel at the city, we get the massive, terrifying twist of the story. You see, Atlantis wasn't imprisoned to protect the humans from the Atlanteans. No, humanity was being protected from what was sleeping beneath Atlantis. Meet Nereigon, a cosmic sea god far older and darker than Poseidon himself. He is literally formed from crushing water, raging storms, and absolute darkness. Atlantis isn't a city. It's Nereigon's padlock. And Blackheart didn't come here to rule the seas. He came to awaken this god and destroy the world that betrayed him. The climax just erupts into sheer mythological chaos. A colossal hurricane forms, spanning hundreds of miles across the Atlantic. Atlantis forcefully rises from the depths, completely shattering the ocean surface. Entire fleets of modern ships are swallowed instantly by these colossal waves. Blackheart's cursed crew fully transforms into horrific sea monsters, engaging in a massive all-out war across the Golden Towers. And then, towering above the mountains themselves, Nereigon emerges. It is, quite literally, the end of the world. Now, you obviously cannot outpunch a cosmic god, so what does Jack Sparrow do? He cheats, and this brilliantly illustrates his whole character. While armies clash and titans roar, Jack quietly slips away and secretly steals the heart of Poseidon. He then deliberately baits Blackheart into claiming the artifact from him. The second Blackheart touches it, his curse becomes permanently bound to the magic, and his body fully mutates into a colossal leviathan. Nereigon, seeing this massive new monster holding the heart, instantly views Blackheart as a rival threat. So the two titans begin to tear each other apart, and Jack quietly uses the distraction to slide the heart right back onto the throne. The resolution. The storm finally breaks. The magic resets. The titanic forces pull against each other until gravity and the magic of the throne finally reassert control. The deafening roar of the hurricane begins to fade, and the golden city of Atlantis seals itself once more. It crashes back beneath the waves, dragging both the monstrous Blackheart and the cosmic god Nereigon down into the crushing abyss. The storms end, the seas return to a perfect, glassy calm, and months later, the world just goes on, completely unaware. Society still believes Atlantis is merely a myth. Literally nobody in the civilized world knows that a drunk, washed-up pirate just saved civilization from total annihilation. Which, honestly, is exactly how Jack likes it. We end on this final, iconic moment. Jack is sitting alone aboard his ship, just watching a beautiful sunset. Suddenly, that magical black gold compass spins wildly in his hand. But instead of pointing to fear, it locks onto a new direction. It points west, far beyond any charted ocean,
toward a land no one has ever seen. Jack takes a long sip of rum, smiles, and says, "Ah, that's not good." Which means it's probably going to be fun. It's the perfect closing line, but it leaves us with one final, thrilling question to chew on. In a world supposedly tamed by iron and empires, what other dark, forgotten gods are just waiting out there, hidden just beyond the edge of our maps? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.